last week, off mic, like after we finished recording, Ralph and I got into a very interesting and funny conversation about picking a college. So, so this past week I saw there's a young black lady that got accepted into like 50 different colleges, which I think is fire. That's dope, right? But in classic social media fashion, there's a lot of haters. Yeah. Oh, why you apply to so many? It's such a waste of time. And I thought that was trash. Why would you diminish this young lady's accomplishment? Like of course she has a very big decision to make in which school.
Which school, yeah.
And I thought that was interesting to play into the conversation we had.
I like what you did there because this is the thing, right? Mm-hmm. If it was an athlete,
yeah,
and it's a generational talent in football, basketball, the sports that generate the most revenue for these big time schools.
Yeah,
nobody would say anything
not a word.
50 schools wanting this person.
Not a single word.
But when it comes to academia, or maybe if you want to say it's a woman, I don't know. I don't know these people.
Right.
But they bring out that point. Like, why would you talk about, getting accepted to 50 schools, blah, blah, blah. Man, look, obviously 50 schools wanted this person.
Exactly. Especially in a time where I imagine it has to be super difficult for high school juniors and seniors over the past year with COVID. It's like, I don't know what they did for prom last year. I assume maybe they canceled prom. All of your senior activities have been canceled. Football games, like all that stuff has been canceled.
Yeah.
So now you get to a point where, okay, I'm a senior now, I need to apply to schools. And now you're applying to all these schools and you get accepted and you want to share that with people and now they just shitting on you. Like, that's crazy.
It's
I
nuts.
don't understand it. Like, I assume a lot of these kids are having issues with not being able to hang out with their friends and all that. Like, this is a special time in these 17, 18-year-old kids' lives. Like, and to just shit on somebody like that is stupid. So what I did want to do is I do want to kind of rehash our discussion from last week on how we chose going to A&M.
Yeah.
For me personally, like, first of all, I didn't know what an HBCU was. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something. Yeah, it wasn't something that was talked about in my house. Like, my mom went to Greenville, here in Illinois. Like, I didn't know. Like, I remember A&M, the choir came to Eastside my senior year. Like, the choir came sang, and there were a few people in the choir that graduated from Eastside.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe I should apply there because clearly there are people from East St. Louis there. So I applied. Like, my number one college choice was University of Miami. That's where I wanted to go.
Okay.
Got accepted. They weren't trying to offer no scholarship money. So I applied to A&M. I also applied to University of Illinois in Champaign. Mm-hmm. I got accepted everywhere, but A&M gave me the most money, most academic scholarship money. So I was like, that's where I'm going. And that's pretty much how I chose my school. Not because it was HBCU, but because they gave me the most money. Now, when I got there, listen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that's where I ended up. I feel like it was supposed to happen.
It was
It was, man, what? It was meant to be. I was meant to be at A&M. That shit was crazy.
It's interesting because, like, I knew what HBCUs were because of the Gateway Classic. They always came here. Howard, I think it was Howard, University of Pine Bluff, Tennessee State. Mm-hmm. Those were the schools that were kind of in rotation for the Gateway Classic because they had big alumni bases.
Yeah.
So just being around certain people, at least I knew what an HBCU was.
Yeah.
Now, you only know about the bigger ones because the alumni base reaches so far.
Yep. Brand
recognition, like we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know about A&M until I actually went there.
Got you.
So, just going to A&M, like, we went down there it was a college tour. We went down there, I think we probably went to another school, something like that. But we went down there for high school senior day.
Okay.
So we're down there with other seniors from like Atlanta, Birmingham, Miami. Like, people came from all around, and Elmore is packed to the brim.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid in there.
That's the gym, by the way.
Yeah. So it's packed in there. So it's like, okay, all right. This is what college is like.
Right.
So, quiet as it's kept, I have this impression of what I think college to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at all these beautiful young women.
Facts.
And everybody's just hype. I was like, oh, this is what school is like? I should go here. Like, and then they waived the application fee that day, so you applied, like, just apply on the little computer building my information, I bada bing, bada boom, I'm in. Like, I was like, it's lit. So, and it wasn't like necessarily like a top college choice for me. Honestly, I think I wanted to go to Howard, but it was just something about it. It's just like the application process was so much.
Yeah, all facts.
Like, it was like $50. $50 back then was a lot of money.
Yeah, especially for somebody that
like
was
I'm
working, but like
I'm working, but I'm helping moms out.
Yeah.
And I had to like, I'm working, but I'm helping moms out. And then just $50 is a lot of money when you apply to like several different schools. And I think I probably was lazy and sent the incomplete packet to Howard, so that's probably why I didn't get it. So it's not because I wasn't smart enough. Like, Howard, y'all, trust me. You're lost, beloved. But I think the reason why, because my mentor at the time, he was a Howard alum. So that's why I tried to get into Howard.
Gotcha.
But I applied to several different schools, state schools, other HBCUs, and I had a high success rate. Like, out of probably, let's say 10 schools, I got in 7.
Gotcha.
So, cool, right? But A&M was the furthest away that accepted me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, fam, I gotta get away from my mama.
Yeah.
and we ain't talk about no scholarship money. We ain't talk about how much it costs.
Man,
we ain't talk about academics. And like, what you studying? Like, what you taking up? It don't matter. Like, they take it. I mean, they got it. I think I'm gonna take it and let me get away from here. So I had to get the fuck about. Excuse my language. Oh, I mean, that's what. Yeah. I was just saying, I had to get the fuck about East St. Louis. So that's what. Funny as hell. That's how it worked.
But real though.
That's how that worked. But just that time away from parents and people that I knew just kind of helped me grow as a person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I undoubtedly landed where I was supposed to be,
right,
despite the student loans, despite, whatever, I might have experienced when I was down there, because those experiences made me who I am right now.
Right.
So, I'm cool with that.
No, thanks.
I'm cool with that. But let me tell you why I think I told you the story before. Hold on, let me take a sip out of my OS mug.
Facts. Man, listen, before you get there, I encourage high school juniors and seniors to look at colleges that are at least a 6-hour drive away from where you live. Like, the experience of being away from home, not being able to have your parents as a crutch per se, like it builds your character. It definitely builds your character. So that's something I always try to encourage in high school juniors and seniors.
Yeah, it's just my niece is getting ready to go. Well, she's not getting ready to go to school. Like, she's a junior in high school now.
Gotcha.
But she's talked to me about HBCUs, or at least alluded to it, and I was just like, look, well, for one, whoever give you the most money, go there.
Facts.
That's how you saw that. But secondly, if you get away from St. Louis, do that. Like, and I ain't talking about go to LU. Shout out to anybody that listen to this to go to Lincoln University. No shots. I just don't want my niece to be that close to home.
Yeah, got you.
That's just a preference. But if she go there, cool, shout out. But I just know how going to a school so close to home can be somewhat of a crutch or a hindrance. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it, there are a lot of success stories. Don't ever get that twisted, from people that go to school near their home like that. But I just know for personal development, I feel like that'd probably be your best bet.
Word. I agree, bro.
And that's not even to just say school. Like, maybe just if you between the years of 18 and 22, and you get the chance to leave,
do it.
Go.
Do it.
But as far as like me picking my major, right?
Mm-hmm.
My initial major was business marketing, like marketing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for marketing, all that stuff, cool. And once I got into like macroeconomics, I was like, oh, this is not it. That intro to account class, shout out to you, bro. That intro to account class is not the move. Like, that's not it. Like, if you don't like numbers and balancing ledgers, that's not for you, man. Yeah, I balance checkbooks and that's it. That's where it stops. But the reason
checkbooks, my bad.
I know exactly. But the reason I picked marketing was because, remember Boomerang, right?
Oh yeah.
Marcus Graham.
Wow.
What was he?
He was a marketing executive.
Marketing executive.
Damn.
Marcus had the clothes. He had the women.
Yeah.
He had the money.
He had the apartment, the condo, whatever that
I was like, man, that's what you give me.
Yeah.
And then but no, even the work that he did, like all he did was in meetings to just come up with ideas and like, this is how we're gonna push this. I was like,
oh, that's light.
That's lit.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dang.
Now, I'm thinking that's all I had to do. Pitch ideas. I can do that.
Nope.
Nope. That's not how it works.
That's
That's not how it works. You go to school, they want you to do macroeconomics is so hard. Like, that is tough.
Shit trash. That shit trash.
They have you take that. It's like math. It's like math. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about gross domestic products and shit. GDP. What's going to do with this?
That's funny.
But yeah, Marcus Grant.
Damn, I don't think I knew that. That's funny. That's crazy.
I remember that.
See, now that we're here, I guess I'd tell mine. Mine's is way less, I guess, complicated than me. So, all throughout school, elementary school, middle school, high school, math was my shit. Like, math, numbers, formulas, calculations. That was my joint. Like, boom, that's me. I'm easiest subject ever. My favorite subject ever. It was dope. So, in my process of applying to college, it's like, okay, well, clearly I'm gonna do something with numbers.
Yeah.
And my choices got narrowed down to either being a math major or an accounting major. So I'm trying to think of what type of jobs can I have. I'm Ask Jeevan because Google wasn't really a thing back then.
Ask Jeevan.
I was Ask Jeeves all day. That was So I was Ask Jeeves. What type of jobs can you do with math? Mathematician, math teacher. Really the reoccurring choices that I saw. It was like I knew for a fact back then I didn't want to be a teacher. Still to this day I don't want to be a teacher. And I just didn't really know what I could do with being a mathematician.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do with that? What type of job can I have with that? Because at this time, all that's being instilled in me, you need to go to college so you can get a job, so you can retire. Like that's what was in my brain the whole time. Yeah. So clearly, I felt I couldn't do anything with math, so I chose accounting. And that's how where I am now. Yeah. But what I wish, and I guess it didn't click to me while I was in college. I wish somebody would have told me that engineering is basically math, because that's what engineering is basically. It's a lot of formulas, a lot of calculations on trying to make sure things work the way it's supposed to. I wish somebody would have told me that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe sometimes we as teenagers, not we, but just teenagers shouldn't necessarily rush off to college, because sometimes you don't even know what the fuck you want to do. Yeah. And you waste a lot of time, money, and energy. Most importantly, time. Yeah. But the money and energy part, that's debatable. You know what I'm saying? You can figure that out. But the time is really, really important. Like, you need to figure out who you are. Word. What do you like? Word. Just go work. Yeah. And if college is for you, go to school. Yeah. Do school. And some people prefer that traditional 4-year experience. At least you think you do, until you get past it. Because once you get to adulthood, it's kind of like, well, damn, I don't even like. And then there are people that come out that are traditional college success stories, right? They go to school, they get the high GPA, they do all the campus activities, whatever that is, and then you move on. And then you make it in corporate, your sector. Yeah. You make the money, and then you're not happy. Facts. So let me tell you. It's like that. Like I was like kind of going back to like what you think you would like to do. I was really like in the history, like just kind of psychoanalyzing myself, like especially when it comes to this podcast. Yeah. I like dates, like names, like real names, like I like talking about stuff like that, right? Yeah. So history was always a thing for me. Social studies is always a thing for me, but does that equate to money? That's the thing. Can I be a historian? I don't know, but where is the money in that? Yeah, and I think that's usually our issue in the Black community. It's like, how do I make money? Rather than being happy. Because listen, I've been an accountant for 10 plus years now, and it's like, it's cool, but it's like, it's not fulfilling. Like I can do this shit all day. This shit is easy, but it's not fulfilling. Like I'm sitting here talking with my guy right now. We just talking shit. This is great. Never did I ever see myself doing anything media related when I was younger. Right. But we here now, and I'm enjoying it. Like, we've been doing this almost 4 years. Like, I don't ever want to stop this for real. Right. It's kind of like, if I ever knew that maybe this was something that we get into, journalism, mass communications, something something of that nature. Like you probably be thinking about that as a major, but then again, you don't know. That's why you have to figure out life. You have to figure out what you like. That's why it's very, very tough for an 18-year-old to make a life decision off of their I don't know whatever, but like I told you, I got sold to school off a free application fee, a pep rally, and the fact that I wanted to get away from my damn mama. Like that's what it was.
That's crazy.
And in hindsight, that sounds nuts, but to 18-year-old rap, that sounds like the greatest thing ever.
Right.
But like I said, I don't regret any of the life experiences that I had at A&M. Like I don't regret anything that happened down there. So I love the fact that I was able to go down there and find who I Ralph was and mature as a man.
Yeah.
So
as a 32-year-old, I've grown to. I feel like college is less about the education and more about the experience as a person.
Listen, the education, that's the easy part. The papers, all that bullshit, man, that's light.
Okay. I had to take biology, and I had to take a biology lab my freshman year.
Yeah.
I don't do shit. I don't do nothing with that. Nothing.
The first 2 years of college are actually pointless.
Man, what?
Like, listen, go to a community college. It's cheaper. You get the same amount of stuff, and you get to transfer it over.
Word.
Like, that's how I probably would have played it. But I don't regret it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, those are things like, okay, if I still want to go to school, right, okay, cool. Let me go to a community college, get this English 101, get this, get that. Boom,
all the simple shit out the way.
Right, get that out the way. Then I go and get my core classes at a 4-year school.
Yes.
Because that, like, when you get into your core classes, that's when the fun begins.
Exactly.
It's like, that's when it really gets in.
Yep. It's crazy, man. And it, again, college for me is more about the life experiences. Like me and Ralph, me and my other friends from college, like we formed I feel like we form lifetime bonds. Like, as Ralph and I get older, families change, things like that. Like, this is always gonna be my guy. Like, I know we may be able to go months without talking if the podcast ever stops.
Right.
But if I pick up the phone and call my guy, I know we good. That's what college has done for me. Because it's not only Ralph. I have other friends like that as well. Yeah. So it's like, that's what the college experience is.
Right. Basically, like we were friends in high school. We were cool in high school, cool. I went off to school. You didn't know I went there.
I did not know.
We just both
I didn't even know he was there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But our college friendship is what spawned this.
Exactly.
Because those debates, those conversations is what led us to this point. So it's kind of like, would this have happened if we had never gotten like closer at A&M as friends?
Right. I don't think it would have. That's why I say, man, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. I ended up at A&M for the reasons I did. So did you. Like it.
For as vain as they were.
But
like I said, I don't regret it. It's just funny in hindsight that, damn, you sold yourself short, bro. Like you could have, like, in hindsight, like, I was like, man, I sold myself short. But no, I love every minute that I was down there, man.
Yeah, man. And now look at us. Like I'm using my degree, but I don't really want to anymore. Like I'm trying to figure out how to do a career pivot right now.
Man, look, I'm a psych degree, and I worked in psych for a minute. That ain't it. It really ain't. It really ain't. Like, unless you're trying to go all the way and get your doctorate or something like that and own a practice and be like a therapist or something like that. I think I have an innate ability to just kind of be like a natural therapist, like listen to people's problems and just talk and not guide them to any answer, because that's not what therapy is. Therapy is just talking your problems through. Right. But do I want to continue doing that? Probably, absolutely not. Nah. I don't want to.
Yeah, I feel that.
I just want to get money and do something that I enjoy doing to get it.
Exactly. Because that's all life really is. Really, it's like, do something that makes you happy. The money will come after that. Like, now, try not to be so focused.
Now let's jump in the bag, right?
Okay.
I want to ask you, if Johnnie was mentoring a young man that was like 16, 17, on the fence about school, how would you kind of just say, how would you mentor him to either go to college, trade? What would you?
Okay, I see where you're going. So the first thing off top, like through our conversations, I'm trying to assess what it is that he actually likes to do. Like what do you do in your free time when you're not in school, when you're not doing homework, when you're not doing your extracurricular activities? What is it that you're doing?
Yeah.
So from there, I want to take whatever that is and figure out how we can apply that to his everyday life. How can we make that his goal of what to do for a living? How can we transition him to do that? Yeah. And I feel like it would be a lot easier in 2021 than it would have been in 2006 when I was coming out of high school, because there's so much access to it's access to everything now.
Yeah, like this is my thing, right? I'm not against formal education, but I'm not gonna push anybody to go get a formal education if that's not you.
Especially if it's gonna cause them to get into massive debt.
That, and the fact that I know that some people go to college and then they do turn over a new leaf. So you can't necessarily not push them to school because you don't see it for them.
Right.
Because some people that possibly me and you graduated with were like the worst versions of themselves when they got to school.
Yeah.
And then when they got to school, they figured it out. And then they're doing great. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about in the sense of like, oh, I got a job, I'm making money. I'm talking about life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes school breaks you to a point where you just got to figure that out.
That's real. That's real.
So it's kind of like I'm always on the fence of like, do you telling somebody they should go to college? Because I'm not that type of college graduate. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to go to school. No, you got to go to school. Because you can be an entrepreneur without even touching a business book. Like,
facts.
Like, and it's proven over. Yeah, it's proven over and over and over. He's kind of dropped out though, so I don't know. That's the most extreme case. But I was just talking about like let's make it like the hood boogery type, right? And that's no stress. But like you can be like a party promoter, right? Yeah. That is an entrepreneur,
right? That's true.
You can own a business, like you own a club, you can own this, you can own that. You don't necessarily, and the thing is, you're gonna take your L's whether you picked up the book or not.
Exactly.
Like me knowing about a gross domestic product is not really gonna stop me from taking this L in real life. So
that's true. It's interesting, man. Like I'm definitely not against kids going to college. Yeah. Trust me. But it's like I am for you not having to go if it's something that you can pursue on your own. Yes. Now maybe later in life,
if you need that paperwork. Sometimes you need that paperwork to kind of solidify you moving to another level. Because sometimes like people work their whole like from 18 to 33 lives, right? And for them to finally be like the manager or like a managing partner or something like that, they need paperwork. Yeah. And that's cool.
That's cool. And at that rate, whatever company you at gonna pay for it. So you ain't even gotta worry about that. Facts. So yeah, like that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at. It's like, fam, college is great if you use it correctly. Is that what I'm trying to say? Like college can and will be a great thing if you apply yourself. But you don't necessarily need it to get where it is where you want to go. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly, because a lot of people that I talk to that are college graduates don't necessarily, nobody I talk to has ever said they regret going to A&M. But just certain things you like, man, I would have played this different. Yeah. That's all it is. But you do that with life anyway. 2020 is always the greatest hindsight, right? Like you always when you look back, you like, dang, of course you would have played it differently.
Yeah. So if you knew then what you know now, would you have still gone to A&M? And if you did, would your major would have?
My major would have been like mass communication journalism or something of that. Okay. Because what we do here, this is natural.
Facts.
This is natural. Yeah. Like this is what we have talked about doing for the past going on 4 years of making a full-time job out of this some way, somehow, some anyway. So it's like we want to. Yeah, if I had announced it, I just probably play it differently as far as a major, but as far as like going to school, no. Yeah, I still go.
Man, not even to mention like the other shit we've picked up and learned from doing the podcast, managing a website, editing audio, video, like having setups, like this is crazy.
Like minor skills in Photoshop stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
like
this is stuff that we've adapted to and just kind of figured out on our own without being formally taught.
Exactly.
So imagine if you had the educational background for radio or journalism or just writing or like whatever it takes to push your product further than what it already has.
Right. Shit is crazy. Crazy, man.
I love you.
That was dope.